Welcome back. Today I'm thrilled to share with you a look at my rose garden in early June. It's very exciting because it's just the time where everything starts to bloom and becomes really wonderful. I've planted in my small garden more than 200 roses with 70 varieties, ranging between dwarf roses and majestic climbers and ramblers. Let's dive in.
We begin right by the house. Here I've planted a gorgeous new rose called Lavender Silhouette. This rambler is perfect for this spot because it doesn't grow too tall, reaching only 150 to 200 centimeters. I choose it because it blooms repeatedly, is super bee friendly with its dainty flowers, and looks stunning against the white wall. This spot feels so fresh and new because I planted it just last fall, so it's still young, but it's already thriving. It's proof that even a small addition can make a big impact. But let's go to the rose fascia, a slightly sunken part of the garden that feels so romantic with its stone wall. I love using standard roses here because they add height and structure, and against the wall they absolutely glow. Under the standard roses, I usually like planting smaller roses for a lush layered effect. For example, this red rose is a ground cover variety called Limes Feuer, and it stays compact, only growing about 40 to 60 centimeter tall, and is perfect for this spot. The one of the white flowering standard roses here is Alba Madeland, which I have underplanted with the charming glitter rose Glückstern. Nearby, one of my favorites, Alberich, a dwarf rose named after a mythological German king of dwarfs and elves, is blooming beautifully. At the entrance to the patio, you'll find a very special damask rose, Jacques Cartier.
Damask roses, like Jacques Cartier, are old roses with a rich history and extraordinary fragrance. They date back centuries and were cultivated in ancient Persia and Europe for their beauty and perfume production. While most of damask roses provide bloom only once a year, Jacques Cartier is a special one, and therefore I choose Jacques Cartier because it provides you blooms throughout the whole season.
Now, let's head to what I call my private English garden. This area is newer, with all the roses being just 2 years old. What ties it all together are the low yew hedges that give it a classic English feel. In the center, I've planted a standard rose named Guirlande d'Amour, which means garland of love. It's absolutely stunning, with healthy foliage and luminous white, fragrant flowers that bloom until autumn. It's surrounded by Bouquet Parfait, a modern shrub rose with incredible clusters of creamy blooms. One of my personal favorites here is Bonica, a light pink floribunda that thrives even in partial shade. And paired with it is Anemona, a delicate rose with soft pink to lilac hues. It's one of the newest roses in my collection from 2021.
Here is an important tip for growing standard roses. They need a proper support, some kind of sturdy stake or a construction. Without it, they could easily break in a strong winds, and it would be really a shame after you have put so much effort in growing them.
In the front garden, by the corner of the winter garden, is one of the oldest roses here. This beautiful climbing rose, with its deep carmine color, has been here since we bought the house. It's an early bloomer, and every year it surprises me with its vigor. On the opposite side, I've planted Ballerina with delicate pink flowers and Souvenir de Greville, tying the garden areas together beautifully. Right in the front of the winter garden, we have the darling Little White Pet, a dwarf rose, here as standard, and Rose de Riche, another wonderfully fragrant damask rose. And finally, one of my cheerful additions, Red Yesterday Rose. It's really bright and it always brings a smile to my face because it's near the entrance to the garden and it's so positive.
The front garden is so special to me because it's the first thing that I see when I come home after a long work day. When I open the door and come in and see all this beauty and smell the rose fragrance, it's wonderful and I know that I am at home. When I walk through the garden, I'm always reminded of how many roses I already have. Not just only that Uli would remind me when I want to go to nursery and buy another ones, which will happen this year again. I know that this is something that I love and I will always buy more roses when I think that I have to buy them. So I'm happy to share my tips and tricks for growing roses. Let me know what are you interested in, whether there are more general tips or if you are interested in some special rose that I should feature. I see you next time.